Hi guys, this time we'll be talking about whether your launch day, balloting, and booking day performance will reflect your future performance of the property. So, for example, whether is it a sold out property on the first day or 90%, 80%, blah, 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 super popular, right? Does it going to be confirm plus chop are going to be a sure win development? That means it's confirm plus chop, is it going to be making money? Of course, we do know that there are some which make money, but there are quite some of them which didn't make money also. So later we'll be exploring a little bit more on that. Like for example, this one late last year, Jervois mentioned 99%. I think this is quite incredible considering that the average selling price was 2,005 for Jervois mentioned. And then 99% of them were launched, 99% of land launched for sale were already sold on the first weekend. In the launch weekend, that was quite incredible, I feel. And then, as usual, disclaimer, whatever I share here is just based on my own point of view, my own research. It doesn't represent any other people. So just make sure you do a due diligence. Also, some of the other recent development launch performers, for example, Canning Hill, also late last year, a little bit later by CDL at Capital Land, we got 77%. Average price was 3,000 BSF for 99-year leasehold RCR. Although some people may confuse it as a CCR, but this is still a RCR location. And then it was sold. 77% of them was sold on the launch weekend. If this is not incredible, I don't think um I can't really think of much that are more incredible than this. And this is pretty much the one that triggered the recent measures in December. And then we got earlier this year, um, January, you got Regular A's, over 90% of them released were sold, and there was multiple price increments along the way. And still, it got sold 90%. Got Piccadilly 77%, Leave at MB 75%, and all these are not cheap. Of course, the one that triggered this whole topic today is Amo Residence. This one was 98% sold on first day of launch. Though naturally, there are a lot of people who didn't get the church unit. They go out for more. They feel very sad, very sad. They didn't get the development that they wanted to. Because that's the thing. A lot of people have been waiting for this so-called Amo residences. You've been waiting and waiting for months, and then and I remember when it was first the land was first awarded last year, I think around June. People were saying, wow, crazy expensive. And then suddenly now it becomes a so-called best deal already. That's how funny the sentiments can change within 1 year. From something that was wow crazy, 1,008 PSF break even for Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1. Crazy, everyone is complaining how bad it is, and then now it suddenly becomes the best deal of the decade, right? 98%. And that's how fast the market has been moving. And so naturally there were a lot of people who will be waiting for this, and like what I predicted, I think very, very obviously I was thinking of easily more than 80% sold, but obviously this was way better, way, way more than I expected. And like like I expected, there are a lot of people who will be waiting for it and then didn't manage to get any unit that they wanted to. And of course, they left with a lot of disappointment. And then now they look around the market, you realize that developers probably are really preparing to make their moves on their remaining balance unit. So if you are planning to make a move within the next few weeks or even days or even months, then I think you really need to be clear on what are the options before the developers are really already make their move. You have to be very careful. So try to make a move as soon as you can. Do all the research that you need as soon as possible, and don't get caught off guard. Okay. So this is a typical launch day scenario, which is very, very stressful. I've got one buyer who already texted me, called me on the day itself for AMO, telling me how stressful it was, whether is it a good buy, this kind of thing. I feel they I wouldn't want to be caught in this situation. I always prefer to be in the show flat where there are lesser people, there's lesser pressure. You can afford to go back home, think a little bit more about it before before you commit, rather than being forced to make a decision there. Because when we are being forced to make a decision within a short period of time, then it is very easy for you to make a wrong choice. Later, I'll show you what I mean by making a wrong choice, unfortunately. So this was an example. The Veranda Residences, this was a freehold, and then nearby there was a 99 launch within the same, almost the same year, rather pretty much the same year. Back in 2018, you've got 76% of them sold over the weekend launch. So this was quite crazy at that point in time, I feel. But so naturally, a lot of people will think, hey, this one, how to go wrong? 76% and sold over a weekend. That means it's super popular, right? And then if you look at the chart, actually okay, it went up. So does it mean that it's a failure? Actually, it's not a failure. There were people who make money. But did many of them make money? I think probably. Let's take a look at this chart. So the other one that was the pretty much the underdog, and the other one, the other development nearby, and didn't perform as well. You look at this was Veranda. Yes, it made money, but the other one that actually didn't perform as well on the launch weekend. Comparatively, you look at the gradient, which one is steeper? So obviously the green one is steeper, which means that the green one has managed to make even more money lah. Okay, that is something for you to think about. This one underperformed compared to this one, but at the end of the day, when it hits the a few years goes by, which one is actually the real winner? So it doesn't mean that the present performance of launch weekend will equate to very good performance in the future. This one is another example. 87% of dual residences in Boogie's superb location within 3 days snapped up 87%. The average price 2000 PSF, highest was 2006. And actually 2000 PSF, now that you think about it, 2000 PSF, you can't even buy Amo residences. So that is how fast the market has been moving. You are talking about Boogies. And then let's take a look at the performance. You can see that this thing has been going sideways. So is it a success story? I think it is quite straightforward case. And then we got the other one, a KAP residences. It says that AKP is done, fared well, blah blah blah. And then I checked some data. So the first month itself, it cleared 73.9%. I think this is quite good already. This is quite incredible compared to compared to the current market, which is super hot. I think that time it wasn't as hot. So that was back. Okay, that one was pretty much still quite hot. That one was a previous market pick. Then again, it's still 73%. I think it is still quite a success story for launch weekend. And if you take a look, only until recently, this is pretty much 1 quarter, you've got wildly fluctuating results. So I'll probably take the medium around here. Okay. This is still, I think, a little bit more like a downtrend rather than an uptrend, which obviously doesn't reflect very well on the performance of this development. And then we got one more, all 76 of all units at 76 Shenton was sold out in just 1 day. This was back in 2010. Sometimes I like to look back and take a look at data a little bit further, because you can see how well they perform in the resale market. And then if you see, developer is not bad. Hong Leong is quite decent. So all 202 units in just one single day. And as a result, if you take a look at this, it still went sideways. And we know by now that as long as your property chart goes sideways, it pretty much means that you're losing quite a lot of money, especially if you have a loan interest, you got stamp duty, you got agent fee, blah blah blah. You may argue, yes, you may have a rental income, but is it worth all this trouble at the end of the day? Would putting your money inside CPF will have much higher gains, or maybe even the same amount of gains eventually, but minus a lot less trouble. You don't have to deal with the agent, you don't have to deal with the tenant, you don't have to deal with the maintenance of the place, and you're just putting the money into CPF and let the money grow. the government grow the money for you. Obviously, that is not the best case scenario. But if you compare to putting your money in such a property versus if you put in the CPF, probably at least the interest becomes like a compound interest. It would have worked a lot better, right? So at the end of the day, when you go for the balloting process or the booking day, you go and queue with people, it becomes very easily you want to go over with a logical mind, but it's very easy to get caught up in the emotional mind because you see people buying, and that's something that I feel us Singaporeans we need to reflect a little bit lah. Sometimes we feel oh, you see people queue you see people queue for food. Wow, this must be a good food. And then when I really hate queuing because I don't know, I just don't like following the crowd. Because a lot of times, last time when I was younger, when I queue, then people say, wow, this one is nice, that one is nice, the food is so good. When I queue over there, I realized that the food is actually not even that good. It's just mediocre most of the time. Maybe I'm not a foodie, I cannot tell the difference. But most of the time, it's not as good as people say it is. And just because somebody queue, another person, hey, this must be good. So the person being queues, C, D, E, F, G all started queuing because they think that it's all good. It's all good. So as a result, you may think that, oh, this is a good thing, but maybe actually it turned out not to be as good. And on the other hand, there may be some other developments or some other hawker that may not be as popular, but actually they serve very good food. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say using this analogy lah. So at the end of the day, you need to know whether are you buying logically or are you buying emotionally. If you're just buying a place for yourself to stay, then you can afford to be a lot more emotional. But if you're buying from an investment point of view, then you definitely have to come from a more logical point of view and not follow those few guys, the 4 case studies that I showed you just now. If you just follow because people are queuing to buy, people are rushing to buy, then I think you are in a very bad spot when it comes to investment decisions. At the end of the day, all these are not cheap lah. If you think about it, property investment are definitely not cheap. You're talking about 2,000 plus PSF for OCR. Is it going to be that much of a bargain? Especially if you're put under a stressful situation. And we also know that there were instances of developers increasing prices within the same day. So are you able to spot whether is it still a good deal? What threshold is it a good deal? And which unit, which facing? Some of them the PSF may be very low, but are they going to end up being blocked in the future because of the fixing of the development and because of according to what the master plan has in store for us? So this was what I was talking about. At the end of the day, there were just, I think, from the next, after the launch, 1 or 2 days later, you've got already some units bounced out. Okay, I'm not going to be showing which exactly the unit lah. I think for and also the prices um for confidential purposes. But you can see itself there are easily at least 6 of them. I think actually even more to come lah because this was already 35th. Today is what? Today is we're already now 27th of July already. There may be more coming up. But in the first place, my question is why are these people leaving their units to bounce out? Why are their units dropping out in the first place? Why one thing that I really don't understand, if you really make a logical, rational decision, you shouldn't even have this kind of thing happening. Come on, you're buying a $2-3 million property, $1 to $3 million property, and you're telling me that, oh, yeah, maybe I should have bought the thing, and that's why I decided to give up. A $3 million property, your option fee is easily almost $150,000. And why are people willing to risk that kind of capital? So that is something that I don't understand. And that's why it is very important for you to know what you're actually buying, to be educated enough. You don't have to be educated fully because, like, if that's the case, nobody will ever buy any property. You just need to make sure that you're educated enough and to make a educated decision so that you don't end up buying illogically. And of course, these are some of the cases that we do not want to see more coming up in the future, because in the first place, if you forfeit, I'm pretty much sure that there will be more aborted cases to come, even though they are so called in the news is 98%, but there are definitely more units to come. Okay. And this is one of my favorite pictures. Just because people are chonging in a certain direction, people are going in a rushing in a certain direction, doesn't mean that you should be following, because this is what we call herd mentality. At the end of the day, whether other people are headed towards falling off a cliff, we don't know. As long as you are not doing your due diligence, you're not being rational, you're just letting your emotions guide you along, you're just following for the sake of following, then chances of you making a wrong decision is very high. And that's why that is something that I don't believe in. I don't believe in just purely following somebody for the sake of following. You need to always follow and make a decision because there's a certain rationale behind it. Whether is it going to be emotional or logical, but at the end of the day, you need to be very certain of why you want to make a certain move, and not just following because other people are buying, that's why I should buy. I see other people say this char kway teow is very nice, so I see like 10 people queuing in front of me, that's why I must queue. Then it shouldn't be the way we should be. I feel leading our lives and spending our money because all these our money are all definitely all hard-earned money okay. And that's why so conclusion, at the end of the day, your whatever we see today in the news, or it's going to be sold out on the first day, every single unit sold on the first day 98%, 90%, 70+%, it all doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, the one that determines your future price, whether it's going to be your future performance, whether it's going to be making money for you, is actually not how they perform on the first day. But in the first place, it should be based on largely based on the fundamentals of the development that you're buying. Is it fundamentally sound? Are you entering, even if it's fundamentally sound, are you entering at the right price? And if you're entering at the right price, are you monitoring the market so that you exit at the right time? Because we have seen quite instances of people buy the right property, buy at the right price, but exit at the wrong time. So end up they lose money. So that's why a lot of people they say, wow, I buy this property, I hot already. But in the end of the day, they never make money. Why? Because they exit too early or they exit too late. At the end of the day, it's like stocks. Those people who bought maybe GameStop, they bought very early and then they exit at the right time. They made a truckloads of money. Those people who hold on for dear life, look at where they are right now. Okay, unless they buy like maybe $2 that time, then they are still making money lah. But those people who exit at 100 plus, 200 plus, maybe even $300, they're probably swimming in cash right now. But those people who are holding on, then it could have been totally different stories today. We have heard a lot of people last year being so arrogant, about the so-called gains on the stock market, crypto market, and then now this year is like everything is so quiet now. Suddenly all these people disappear, and in fact, I've got quite some even at my residential area. There were 2 or 3 Lambos, I think, by one unit, and today I only see one. Only see one. Where are the other 2? I have no idea. Maybe gone already because of how the market has reacted. Okay, and that's why it is very important to make sure that you buy today because you're very clear what is the direction, and then it is important that you don't fall for the typical trap that today a lot of them they like to tell you, a lot of agents they like to tell you, okay, this is what your exit strategy. First thing you need to do is 3 years. 3 years you want TOP already, or haven't even TOP yet, you can sell already. But what makes you think that these 3 years you confirm plus chop you will make money? Okay, so that is not as simple as okay, 3 years is my exit plan. That's what when quite a lot of buyers, they tell me they meet some other agents really, and then they say, okay, I have this exit plan for this certain development. So I ask them, what's your exit plan? My exit plan is 3 years later. I'm always sometimes I always never fail to laugh a little bit inside when they tell me it's 3 years, because if the market is so, if it's so easy, or just 3 years then I then exit already, then why would people actually lose money? it is definitely not as easy as, or just okay, 3 years I exit, or TOP I exit. Once I reach this mark, or the MRT open already, just exit. A lot of people like to say they like to think that, oh, MRT open already, wow, then the price will shoot up. Actually, if you look at the chart, no, it didn't. Quite a lot of them are like that. And what actually affects the market, what actually affects the price of development is not the MRT opening, but there are other more macro factors that are actually affecting the price movement. And if you just base on what people say, then you're likely going to be very disappointed. And that's why it's very important for you to be engaging somebody that helps you manage and monitor your property, then make sure you exit at the right time, at the best price possible, so that you can exit your profit, so that you can take the cash and then move on to the next step very safely. Okay, and that is the end we have for today. If you have any inquiries, you feel that you have no idea where to put your money right now because of how fast the market is moving, you didn't get a choice unit because of AMO, you got this upcoming landlord order, you feel unsure, then just let me know if you need some help to decipher the market, and I'll see how I can help out. Okay, that'll be all. And then see you guys next session. Bye bye.